There's an island just 90 miles off the coast of the southernmost tip of Florida. It's full of people, culture, art, history, music, food, great scuba diving, and interesting politics. But there's one problem. You can't go here. The place I'm talking about is Cuba, and I'm talking about the Cuban travel ban. For more than half of a century, you haven't been able to travel to this country just 90 miles off of our coast, not because the Cuban government won't let you, but because the American government won't let you. I think it's time to try something new with Cuba, and it's time to lift the Cuban travel ban. It's outdated, it violates our freedom, and we're better off as a country without it. First of all, it's outdated. President John F. Kennedy enacted the Cuban travel ban more than 50 years ago to punish Fidel Castro for nationalizing all of our holdings there. But now look where we are 50 years later. Cuba's still a communist state, and our relations haven't gotten much better. It's obviously time to try something new. I also find it interesting that we don't have a policy with any other country in the world like we do with Cuba. You can travel to North Korea, you can travel to Iran, but you cannot travel to Cuba. Why would we want to isolate them from us when we could be the thing that could change them? Secondly, not being able to travel to Cuba is a violation of our freedom. We should be able to travel as we please, and St. Augustine once said that the world is a book, and those who do not travel read just one page of it. I think that if we live in a country that boasts that it's the land of the free, why can't we travel where we want to go? If someone's going to limit my government, I don't want it to be my own. I want it to be someone else's. I think that traveling opens our eyes to things that we wouldn't typically be grateful for here in America. I know personally that traveling to Cuba has done this for me. I think of something as easy and simple as going to the creamery to get ice cream. You can sample all the flavors you want, you can mix them, you can put sprinkles on them, you can even throw it away right when you get it. But in Cuba, things are a little bit different. You go to an ice cream parlor and you choose a line based on the machines that are at the front of the line. There's one line for chocolate and vanilla and one line for strawberry and caramel. And once you get to the front, you can't switch lines and you cannot mix flavors. You can't top flavors, you can't do anything but get your ice cream and sit down when your time is called. Once you go, you sit down and they time you for about 2 minutes. Then you have to get up and leave whether or not you're finished. I think that seeing things like this have helped me realize that I appreciate what we have here in America and I appreciate our Constitution. Whether or not you want to go to Cuba, you should be able to have the option to see these things because it could change the way that you think. Finally, lifting the Cuban travel ban could actually benefit America. We could increase our domestic output by $1.4 billion a year and increase our jobs by 23,000. That's significant. We're in an economic rut, and this could be a boost that could help some people. Also, why would we not want to send our best ambassadors to Cuba? Our best ambassadors are all of you, Americans. Imagine flooding the streets of Cuba with your ideas. I would love to see the Castros deal with an American spring break. It's time to do something new with Cuba. What we're doing has not been working. It's time to lift the travel ban. It's outdated, it violates our freedom, and we're better off without it. We may be a little behind the curve on this, but I think that 50 years late is better than never.